My mother called begging me to lie to my dad about not having a job so he would give me an allowance, which I would then give to her to buy presents for my autistic little brother, but when I said no, she crashed out at me. I, 17F, have been trying to save up money for when I move out in a month to share an apartment with my boyfriend. I'm going to go to university and my dad's offered help, but I know when I'm not in control of my own money, knowing when or how I'm getting it, I get really anxious about spending and whatever because I used to have really bad spending habits. My little brother, 15, is autistic. It isn't a severe case where he's nonverbal or can't change or do anything for himself. At best you'd think he's a little dorky. My mother has known to not be the best about spending her money despite having government assistance and my dad constantly giving her money to fix her other money mistakes that she made with his money. I'm not so sure what's going on with all that. I think I'll get stressed if I ask my dad to explain it to me. All this is sort of just context for the situation. I'm also not mad at my brother as he stuck up for me before anyone asks about that. Basically, my mom reached out to me, while I was sleeping over at my boyfriend's, and asked where I would be working. Really out of the blue. She started asking how much money I'd be making, how often I'd be home once I moved out. I kind of caught on that she was asking for money. I tried to gently remind her that I'm saving up to pay rent in a little bit and start paying for my own things without an allowance. Then she asked if I could ask my dad to send me an allowance and just lie and say I'm not working. I flat out said no and laughed. She sort of huffed and said she struggles with buying presents for my little brother. His birthday was last week, and the things that autistic people like are really expensive. I told her that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said not everything revolves around his disability. I was trying to say he is his own person, he isn't a person with autism, he is Ryan, fake name. Which is what I was gonna say, but I thought she wouldn't really understand that. She zones out when I try explain things for too long, so it came out weird. She hung up, and 5 minutes later my brother called me and asked if I was mad at him. I said no and asked what was wrong because sometimes he just asks me that, so I wasn't fully assuming it was a phone call. He said my mother had told him that I said he wasn't important enough to have my money. He kept insisting he doesn't want my money, he likes me being his sister without that. This made me furious. Not at him. I explained what happened and he said it was weird and he's sorry, he doesn't want present money from me. We talked for a little bit and it was fine. When we hung up I called my mother back. She tried to go off at me again, but I just yelled that it was so horrible for her to say that to my little brother, and honestly I just kept yelling. Anytime she tried to talk I just yelled. Which is what I feel bad about because then she got upset and called my dad. My dad called me to ask if I was okay, but I was still mad, so then I told him she was asking me to lie to get extra money, and Hess also mad at her now. She's been texting me saying her whole house is mad at her now and saying she's sad she couldn't rely on me. She asked me to stay at my boyfriend's house for a couple nights because she wanted space and my BF said it's fine. I'm really conflicted now because I thought I was in the right for how I felt, but now seeing how much it affected her I just feel like a huge a-hole. My brother is telling me he still thinks it was weird and mean of her to try get money out of me at the excuse of him being autistic. Me and my dad are very close, but he hates to argue with my mom, so we haven't really talked since my mom asked for space. I know my mom struggles with money and it makes her feel incompetent at times, as she's expressed to me. These reactions are sort of making me doubt my behavior. I know him at the least, a bit of an asshole for raising my voice. But yay. Ida? Sorry this is so long. Edit, just to clarify, my parents are not divorced, split up etc. and they still live together. Commenter. NTA. I don't see a problem in a parent asking their kid for money, but the manipulation and the lie to your brother was terrible. Also, she wanted you to lie to your father to give her the money. Why can't she ask him directly? Up. I think she didn't want to ask him because she gave him several debts he had to pay off that was very stressful for him, and he sort of put restrictions on money she can borrow. Commenter 2. Okay, so straight up NTA. If you're saving to move out then you're almost 18 and can be independent like that. I'm autistic and if anyone used anything like what your mother said I would be livid. I feel bad for your brother being caught in the crossfire, but at the end of the day it's your mother who's in the wrong. Now if she just asked for some money to help with a bill or something, while you still wouldn't be the odd to say no, it would be more understandable. But autistic gifts are expensive is a massively wild thing to say. And then to go on and tell you that you should lie to your father just so she can get more money? It'd say she only asked you because Hess set a limit with giving her money and she's so bad with it that it's biting her in the ass. Not to mention the fact she straight up lied to your brother telling him that he wasn't important enough for your money or whatever that means. You've told your father what she said to you, but it also say to tell him what your brother told you she told him. Your mother's struggles are not your problem, honestly, especially if you are going to be moving out soon. Her feeling incompetent is just the consequences of her actions. In bad with money, but an important part is recognizing you are and working to be better, not asking your child to lie to your partner to get more money. Overall NTA, and it seriously consider if you would want to keep a relationship with her. Obviously this is just a snippet, but if she's willing to ask you to lie to a parent like that, I personally wouldn't trust her. You could be an offer yelling at her, however sometimes they just need to be yelled at to get the point across, lol. So I wouldn't consider you an offer that either. BTW, just give your brother lots of hugs, if he likes them, or like fist bumps if he doesn't, lol. Up. Thank you so much for this comment. Also yes, he gave her a major limit because she'd given him debts. How to explain, but basically she spent his money into oblivion. He would give her 5K monthly for extra spending money and things for my brother, but her extra spending money is now 300 and he just personally gets things for my brother if he needs them. I think I'll ask my dad to meet up and talk about the things she said to my brother along with my concerns for other things. I think that addresses most questions/advice in this comment. And my brother will be getting that fist bump. Update. I firstly want to say thanks for all the advice yous gave me and kind words. A lot has happened, sorry if this gets really confusing or seems half-assed. I've just lived through so much that little details are lost on me. Trust me, there's heaps. So for the comments who had said it seemed like my mother had an addiction, you weren't wrong. Mom got arrested the other night for driving under the influence. Turns out my aunt had been sending her hundreds to near thousands a month for what she thought was special needs equipment but was actually for, I bet you can't guess, ketamine. Ooh, audience sound effect here. After the fight about the money, nearly her whole side of the family was against me and I still wasn't allowed back home. This made her and Dad fight heaps because he wanted me home, but my mom was just literally refusing and was saying she'd call the police if I showed up. Then she got arrested. My dad called me and said I can come home from my boyfriend's. I asked if Mom had calmed down and he was like, no, she's been doing ketamine in this house every night and just got in the car fucked up. So, she's not here means you're here, get your ass over here, and that was it. To be fair, everyone in my house has just sort of embraced it. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't expect her to be doing drugs, like I was surprised but not stunned. I don't know how to explain. Her and my dad are finally splitting up. My brother is handling this all right, I guess. I mean, better than most, I think. His response was mostly just, oh. And listening to what we said about the things happening next, how Mom wasn't gonna be around much anymore at all, etc. She's tried texting SND calling a few times, but I texted her one time, a big paragraph basically just letting her know and done. I maybe would have been able to forgive her if she didn't drag my dad down with him and spend every dime along his bloodline, and have drugs in the house where my brother was. I don't care to know if she's like going to jail or something. Even if she gets clean and has a come to Jesus moment or some shit, I really don't care to know her. I think that sums everything up. Sorry it's short, maybe melodramatic. Not for me, obviously. But again, thank you for all the advice. Have a good day, Reddit.